Hello, I'm Jerry Cysewski. I'm the Chief Science Officer and founder of Cyanotech Corporation and Nutrex Hawaii. I began working with microalgae in 1976 when I accepted a teaching job at the University of California at Santa Barbara. My work was funded through the National Science Foundation as well as university grants. In '78, I realized that a product, spirulina, was coming into the human supplement market. It had a wonderful nutritional profile, but it turned out to be a somewhat dirty product. It was produced near in a lake near Mexico City, Lake Texcoco, and the spirulina, although wonderful nutritional profile, was dirty. It had high levels of bacteria and many times high levels of heavy metals.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, here's an opportunity to apply engineering solutions to produce spirulina under very controlled conditions, maintain the wonderful nutritional profile, but produce an absolutely clean product. Very low in heavy metals, very low in bacterial count. And so then we started moving ahead, and actually Cyanotech was founded in the Seattle area, in town Woodinville, through a merger. Actually it was a company called Altex Technologies, merged with a company called White Mountain. And the reason we went through this reverse merger is that White Mountain was a public company, but it also had $300,000 in the bank.
Okay.
We merged not to become public, but to get the $300,000.
Okay.
we did a little bit more fundraising. We then had enough money to put up a spirulina production facility. We initially thought we were going to grow spirulina in Nevada, because we had access to a low-grade geothermal hot spring, which we could use to keep the spirulina warm during the winter. I actually spent a winter in Nevada in very cold temperatures.
Okay.
I put in a test pond. We actually grew spirulina in 30-degree Fahrenheit, so it's about 0 degrees centigrade, a little lower than that.
Was it working?
It worked. We grew spirulina, but it was difficult. And the place we were growing the spirulina was in the middle of nowhere. It was by a town called Round Mountain. It was a really godforsaken place to live. Came back to the Seattle area. Before we made a final decision, I wrote to every warm state in the United States that could probably support spirulina growth in the winter. It was almost a joke that I wrote to Hawaii, because I figured there's never a land available in Hawaii to produce a large spirulina plant. But I did, and the state of Hawaii has a program called Aquaculture Development Program. I think as soon as my letter hit their desk, I got a call from the gentleman there.
Okay.
He explained to me what the Natural Energy Lab was about, where we're located, and it was February in Seattle, so it's very easy to convince yourself to take a business trip to Hawaii in February from Seattle.
That's nice, yeah.
So we came out here at the Natural Energy Lab, looked around, and indeed, it's probably the best place in the world to grow microalgae. This area here at the Natural Energy Lab, it's located on the Kona coast of the Big Island of Hawaii, a place called Keahole Point. Gets more sunlight than any other coastal location in the United States. It's warm 12 months a year, so it can produce 12 months a year. It gets very low rainfall, so we can culture in large open ponds. And it has access to a very unique resource, cold, deep seawater pumped up from a depth of 2,000 feet. We receive the cold seawater about 10 degrees centigrade.
Okay.
Initially, we didn't know how we were going to use that unique resource, but since then, we've developed a patented drying process that we use in spirulina, ocean chill drying.
For cooling?
We actually use it to cool and dehumidify warm gases coming out of our dryer, so it can recycle those gases back into the dryer.
Okay.
When we start up the dryer is full of air, 20% oxygen.
Yeah.
After running about 5 minutes, the oxygen level drops down to less than 1%.
Okay.
So it can dry spirulina and protect all the oxygen-sensitive nutrients, things like carotenoids, zeaxanthin, beta-carotene, enzymes, and so forth.
Because there is no oxidation
Very low
process.
oxygen, yes. Our spirulina, when it goes into our ocean chill drying, which is a highly modified spray dryer, only spends about 12 seconds in the dryer when it's dried, so it's a very fast process. Matter of fact, once the spirulina leaves a culture pond, it turns into finished spirulina powder less than 30 minutes.
Okay, this is really great.
It's a very fast process.
But when you came here the first time, this was just a big lava field, I believe, huh?
Oh yeah, it was a big lava field. Where we're located now is really in the middle of nowhere.
Yes, I think
So we started with a 5-acre facility, 2 hectares. We had to have crews come in and actually use a combination of blasting and very big bulldozers to flatten the lava, so we could start building it. And that's a disadvantage of the site, is the hard lava. It actually costs $85,000 an acre just to make the lava flat, so you can start working on it.
Okay.
But we moved ahead with 5 acres. We had 4 spirulina culture ponds, started producing, and that was in 1984. So we've been here 34 years. We've seen a lot of changes.
34 years.
So jumping ahead to today, we now have 90 acres, 36 hectares under production. We produce both spirulina, Hawaiian Spirulina pacifica, and we produce a natural astaxanthin product called Hawaiian Bioastin Natural Astaxanthin. And so we're producing those 2 on 90 acres. We have 130 employees working here. Our biggest customers now in the U.S. mainland are Costco. We're in about half the Costco stores throughout the U.S., and we're selling quite a bit of material through Amazon in the U.S.
Okay, so can you produce enough? Because this seems to be very big.
Well, we can produce enough bioastin, Hawaiian astaxanthin, but we are having trouble producing enough spirulina.
In the moment, yeah.
At the moment, and we're going through some great links to try and increase our production, and we've got a lot of people working very hard to improve our production, increase our production, so we can supply the demand.
Yeah, I had some discussions about this. I know it's sometimes not so easy. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What is the reason why I came here? Is it the sunshine, or is it the cheap land, or what is it that you had to that you wanted to have the farm here in Hawaii?
Well, the most important thing of mass commercial production of microalgae is the light.
Is the light? Okay.
Is the light. That's absolutely important. And of course, this gets more sunlight than any other coastal location in the United States. So that was number 1. Number 2 was the warm temperature. So we actually, without any heating or cooling, could grow spirulina 12 months a year.
Okay.
So those 2 things are very important. Low rainfall is important, so it could grow in large open ponds. So those 3 things really clinched the deal, why we wanted to come to Hawaii. We really didn't know what to do with the cold seawater, but since then have made some very good uses for it.
The customer in Germany are always afraid about radiation from Japan. Do you have any problems with this? You control this, the deep ocean water, if there is any contamination with radiation from Japan?
Yeah, there's absolutely no radiation contamination from Japan.
Okay, Japan.
The reason for this is that the cold seawater that we pump up from a depth of 2,000 feet, the last time it saw the atmosphere, got near to the surface of the ocean, was over 2,000 years ago.
2,000 years.
So there's this big, I guess they call it like an Arctic water conveyor that goes up to the North Pole, the water cools, sinks to the bottom, and then slowly migrates around the continents and past Hawaii, and we pick it up. So, the Earth was very clean 2,000 years ago, no industrial pollution whatsoever. And the pollution caused by the Japanese disaster, there's no way it reaches that water. Now, having said that, when that disaster struck, when we thought possibly a cloud of radiation could have come towards Hawaii, we started testing for radiation in the air and in our product, and we've never found any.
Okay, that's great.
Because what people don't realize is Hawaii is actually very south of Japan and the U.S. mainland. And the prevailing currents as well as the prevailing winds go from Japan north, 1,000 miles away north. And so the west coast of the United States did get hit with some radiation.
I know, yeah.
It never came back around to Hawaii.
Okay, fine. The deep ocean water, you use this for the production of spirulina, for the algae, or you use it just for cooling down the drying process?
Well, we do use it in the drying process, certainly, to produce a superior product. But we do use a very small metered amount of cold deep sea water as a source of natural trace elements.
Okay.
Down at 2,000 feet deep, there's absolutely no biological activity taking place. So the water is very rich in trace minerals.
Okay.
So we do put in, so it's natural trace minerals that we put into as a source of a nutrient, a trace nutrient to culture spirulina ponds.
I understand. Okay. We had this long discussion in Germany about certified organic and not certified organic. And I know you had the very first certified organic spirulina in the world here until the processing of certified organic changed somehow.
Yes.
Can you tell us something about it?
Yes. Cyanotech was the first company to produce certified organic spirulina. And then what changed with the rules in the United States was that the National Organic Standards Board decided not to allow the use of mined Chilean nitrate to supply a source of nitrogen for crops, including microalgae. Their first argument was that the mined Chilean nitrate, which is a completely all-natural product, is very soluble in water and would leach into the water table and contaminate water tables.
Okay.
That's not a problem with spirulina culture because all of our ponds are lined, and so there's no leaching or nitrates into the water table. We argued actually until we were blue in the face with the National Organic Standards Board, but they just we weren't successful. So what we're really doing is we're growing spirulina the way it grows in nature.
In nature, yeah.
In nature, spirulina is found in alkaline lakes with high levels of dissolved nitrates and phosphates. So we create that same natural environment in our culture ponds, and we produce a very good spirulina with a very good nutritional profile. We did do quite a bit of research trying to look for different sources of organic nitrogen sources and phosphate sources, and we did a lot of work on that. And what we found is that in order for us to, quote, become organically certified, we would have to use some sort of composted teas, and that really led to either higher bacterial loading in our product or higher heavy metals. So we decided, well, we're going to grow just like in nature, how spirulina grows in nature, and continue to produce a very high quality product for our customers. And so we're no longer certified organic, but it's an all natural process, and it's a very high quality product. You know, one person made a comparison is trying to get spirulina to become organic is a lot like trying to make a polar bear organic.
I know.
It could survive being or trying to make a polar bear vegetarian.
I know.
So a polar bear could survive vegetarian, but he would not be very happy or very healthy.
So the same with the algae.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, this is from Markus Rohrer.
Rohr, yeah. Markus Rohrer did a very nice job.
He made this little movie out of this. Yeah, I know it.
Presentation.
Okay, so when I came here the first time, it was 20 years ago. I'm very happy to know you all this long time. It's good to. It's a bit like family feeling for me actually. Yeah. I met Kelly this time here too, Kelly Moorhead.
Yes.
And I'm very happy because he had the idea for me to be the importer for Hawaiian spirulina in Europe. So this was a very good idea this time. How long did you work together with Kelly?
Well, Kelly was one of the first employees of Cyanotech here in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And that was in 1984. So Kelly was a wonderful person. He was our production manager, then our sales manager, director of sales. So he really was a wonderful person. It was a shame to lose him. Kelly passed away about 10 years ago. So it was very tragic.
Yeah. So thank you for this interview. This was gave us new ideas. Thank you very much, and I wish you a lot of success, even for the production of spirulina, that you can increase it again. Okay.
We're going to work very hard, Ronald, and it's wonderful to see you here in Kona, Hawaii, and you're always welcome. Very nice to see you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.